Hi dear students, welcome to another session of forensic fingerprinting. So in the last session we discussed about latent fingerprinting developing techniques, fingerprint physical method, chemical method and laser method. So today we'll discuss about the development of fingerprint from the diseased skin. So I am talking here about if in the case of homicides like throttling or in the which cases in which the fingers are involved. So in that case we use electronographic method. So from that victim's body, if we want to collect the fingerprint, we use this electronographic method. So in such cases like throttling or dragging the body by the hands, so in such cases you can see the fingerprint of the culprit on the diseased skin. So that we use electronographic method in such cases. And this electronographic method uses X-ray technique, so here the method of taking fingerprint from the diseased skin is dusting the skin using or that area of the diseased skin where you can find the fingerprint using a fine lead powder. So using a fine lead powder, dust the area, and after dusting the area, so the surface is irradiated with hard X-ray beam which passes through a series of filters like copper and aluminium to remove the soft components of irradiated X-ray beam, and the electrons emitted by the lead atoms affect the X-ray film placed on the top of the object, giving rise to the developed print. And this technique is also used or useful even on the living skin. So I will write here, then you will be more you can understand more about this one, how to develop the fingerprint from the deceased using this method. So first is that dusting of this area with fine lead powder, dusting of the skin which contains the fingerprint. You have to dust it with fine lead powder, and after that the surface irradiated with hard X-ray beam which passes through a series of filters like copper and aluminium to remove the soft components of irradiated X-ray beam. Third one is that the electrons next is that the electrons emitted by lead atoms affect the X-ray film placed on the top of the object, giving rise to the developed print. So this is the technique of electronographic method of developing the latent fingerprint from the diseased skin. So in such cases like homicidal offenses and all homicidal offenses like throttling or dragging the body using hands or any offenses which include the violence which is occurred by the hands and the fingerprint of the culprit is on the body of the victim, then you can use this method for developing the fingerprint of the culprit from the deceased person's body. And next is prints on glass. So how we can develop the prints on glass? So when latent prints are found on both sides of the glass, they should be developed separately. So in some cases, fingerprints are there on the glass piece. For example, in hit and run cases or something like that, if fingerprints is there on the fractured glass, or in burglary case, in fingerprints are there on the windows, you can use this method to develop the prints on a glass. So here this is for example, you can see like this piece of a glass is there, and in two sides if fingerprints is there, you can you have to develop the fingerprints separately. So one of the technique used involves treating one side with a white lead carbonate powder and photographing it. So first you have to develop one side, and after that only you have to move to the other side. So you have to develop one side using white lead carbonate powder, and after that you can photograph the developed print. Then you can take the other side print impression of the fingerprint. So here when you photographing, you have to hold it in front of the dark background, then only the fingerprint developed could be it will be visible. So in a dark background you can keep that glass piece and you can take the photograph of the developed print. And for exposing for a few minutes of vapors to vapors of ammonium sulfide can enhance the developed fingerprint. So if you want to see more darker the print, you can use the ammonium sulfide. So I will write here exposing of for a few minutes to the vapors of ammonium sulfide can darken the fingerprints, the developed prints, so that it will be easy to take the photograph of the one side. So this exposing is exposing to ammonium sulfide vapors is for darkening the developed prints. After that you can repeat the same procedure in the second side. So when photographing the second side, the previously blackened lanterns on the other side will be invisible in front of the dark background. So when you keep this on the other side, and when you are trying to take photograph of the next side, then that in front the other side will be invisible in front of the dark background, so that you can take the photograph of both the sides. So next is recording of the developed latent fingerprints. So after developing the fingerprints using a powder method, physical method, laser method, whatever it is, depends upon the surface where the fingerprint is there, then you can record the fingerprint. So first thing is that from the crime scene you are getting a fingerprint, you are suspecting a latent fingerprint is there, so you have to develop it using different types of methods, and after developing you have to record it. Then after recording, in some cases if recording is not possible, you have to lift the fingerprint, latent fingerprint, and so the next step is if recording is not possible, you have to lift the fingerprint. and after lifting you can preserve that fingerprint and you can go for further examination. So this is the step of examination of fingerprints. So here the majority of fingerprints are recorded using taking the photograph. So any type of camera you can use and which has a provision to take up to 1:1 close up and can be used. So mainly recording means photographing the particular fingerprint, developed fingerprint. So here any camera you can use in which 1:1 close up photos can be taken, and special types of camera are also there for taking the photograph, taking the fingerprints photograph. So they are designed which are self contained with lens, then a shutter and diaphragm, lift lighting system and batteries, viewing panel, etc. So you know about forensic photography. So these are the main things we need for taking the photographs. I think you already studied this about forensic photography in your last semester. So fingerprint cameras are available for taking the photograph of fingerprints. So I will show you one of the picture of the camera. So here you can see the picture of special type of camera which is used for taking the fingerprints. So this is one of the camera. And a fingerprint camera is this camera is available with fingerprint equipment manufacturers, and fingerprints are on a rounded surface are not however, like it's very difficult to take photograph with this camera, so that we can go for lifting method. These powdered fingerprints you can take for lifting method. So next is lifting of fingerprints. So in cases where the recording of fingerprint is not possible, you can go for lifting of the fingerprints. And in cases such as there are cases which is not possible to take the photograph effectively due to the poor quality of the photograph, or due to the physical location of such prints, or the camera cannot reach the, or due to poor contrast or reflection of light, or when the impression is on multi colored object, then we can go for lifting the powdered fingerprints. So in cases you can see here I am writing here poor quality of photos, then physical location, then camera cannot reach the particular area, or the surface is multicolored object, then we can go for lifting of fingerprints. So for lifting we are using a transparent fingerprint lifting tape. So transparent fingerprint lifting tape is exactly like the cellophane tape. You all know how the cellophane tapes looks like. So like this only transparent lifting tape. I will show you the picture of the lifting tape after this, and how to lift the fingerprint in a video. Likewise using transparent lifting tape you can take that one. So this transparent lifting tape will be on a dark background, or you can say on a plastic background. So if the fingerprint is there, you can exactly fix this on that fingerprint. So it is big enough to cover all the fingerprint, whether it is a whole finger or like chance prints are there, or it is a rolled impression only, the thumb impression will was there, anything, it's like it is enough for taking the fingerprint. And this is a piece of tape, I like a large enough to cover the print, and this is fixed on a plastic background as I said. And you can take this from the plastic background, and is carefully pulled in one steady movement, and you have to press this on the powdered print evenly, and then you have to pull it from the surface and replace back on the background to protect the lifted print. So the tape will be on a plastic background or a black background. So you have to keep this on this fingerprint like this, and immediately you have to pull this one. At one stretch you have to pull that one, and you have to keep this back on this black background. Then after this is for preserving the lifted fingerprint. You lifted this in the transparent lifting, using transparent lifting tape, and you have to keep it back. It is for preserving the lifted fingerprint, and care must be taken to prevent the formation of air bubbles under the lifter, and this is a permanent record. So in this session we discussed about developed fingerprint from the deceased. So we used electronographic method. So in cases such as throttling or dragging the body by hands, or any homicidal offenses in which hands are involved, and the fingerprint is there on the deceased person's skin, you can develop this using this electronographic method. So in this method, the dusting of the skin or the area where contains the fingerprint with fine lead powder is the method. And the second step is that the surface irradiated with hard X-ray beam, which passes through a sense of filter like copper, or a series of filter like copper or aluminium, to remove the soft components of irradiated X-ray beam, and the electrons emitted by lead atoms affect the X-ray film placed on the top of the object, giving rise to the developed print. And next is prints on glass. So in prints on glass you have to develop it separately. If in both sides, if you are seeing the fingerprint, you have to develop it separately, and you can use white lead carbonate powder and photographing it by holding in front of dark background, and you can expose this for a few minutes to vapors of ammonium sulfide, and this is for darkening the prints. So this is how we are developing the prints on the glass. And after that you can take photograph of this one, and one after the another you have to take. One side you have to develop and record it, and after that you have to take the another side, and you have to record the other side of the glass. Thus you can develop it from the both sides of the glass. And next you can see how we can record the fingerprints. After developing, you have to record the fingerprint, and recording is mainly done by photographing. So I showed you the camera of special fingerprint cameras which are available for recording the fingerprint. So I hope you understood about the camera thing. And after recording, if recording is not possible, you can go for lifting of the fingerprint. So recording, you can take any camera I told, but in some cases the recording is not possible, where the poor quality of photos or physical equation or camera cannot reach, or multicolored object. In that cases you can go for lifting of the fingerprint, and transparent lifting tape is used for this one. So I will show you one video regarding this lifting. Then you will understand how lifting is done using the transparent lifting tape. So I told the procedure, so I think you can go to the video to understand more about the lifting. So thank you. You watch the video, I will explain there. So here first you have to dust the surface using a fingerprint brush. So here magnetic fingerprint brush is used for dusting the surface for developing the print. So after developing, they will show how to lift this one. So like this, they are dusting the surface, and you can see the fingerprint clearly here using the magnetic surface and magnetic brush. And after that you have to remove the excess powder using that same brush. So in previous one video I showed how to lift the fingerprint using this brush. So like this, they are taking the latent fingerprint, developing the latent fingerprint, and you have to remove the excess powder, and after that you can lift this using a lifting tape. So here they are taking the lifting tape for lifting the fingerprint. So this is the lifting tape, and you have to keep this on the fingerprint where you developed. So here this is the fingerprint, and they are keeping one piece of lifting tape on the fingerprint. So exactly on that pin they are keeping this one, and evenly they are spreading that one. And after that, to this background they are keeping, this is the plastic background or the fingerprint slip. So here you can write the details of that fingerprint, from where you collected, the location and all those things, and you can keep this lifted fingerprint on that plastic background. So that is the card, fingerprint collecting card, you can keep there on this plastic background. So likewise you can preserve the print.